How's it going? Dave here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you 7 advanced neo-soul guitar chords. These chords are going to be really helpful for making your chord progression sound cool and sophisticated. You're going to get the most out of this lesson if you know the Nashville number system and you know your intervals, but if you're not too sure on that kind of theory, don't worry, still follow along with the video and you're going to learn some really awesome chords to use in your playing. So let's jump straight into the first chord. The first chord is the dominant 11 chord. We use the dominant 11 chord as the 5 chord in our key to resolve down to the 1. So we're going to be playing a B11 chord, and with the B being the 5 of the key of E, we're going to resolve this B11 down to E. Okay, so here's how you play a B11. Ring finger on the 7th fret of the low E string. We're going to be muting the A string. We're going to use our little finger to play the 7th fret of the D string. Then the 6th fret of the G string with our middle finger. Then our index finger is going to be playing the 5th fret of the B and E strings. It's a very nice sounding chord. And as I said, this resolves down nicely to E. The next few chords are going to be more dominant chords that you can link together and use that to resolve to your 1. So the next chord is the 7 flat 9 13 chord. So again, this is a 5 chord and you can use it to resolve down to the 1. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our B11 chord and we're going to shift our middle finger and our index finger back 1 fret to the 5th and 4th frets. So we're playing 7 on the low E, we're missing out the A, we're playing 7 on the D, we're playing 5 on the G, and then we're playing 4 on the B and E strings. And that resolves nicely to E as well. We can link those two up together before resolving on the E. And that sounds really cool. Okay, the third chord is the augmented 7th chord. Again, this is another chord you can use as your 5 chord to resolve down to 1. So we're going to play a B augmented 7th chord. So to play the B augmented 7th chord, we are going to play 7th fret of the low E string with our middle finger. We're going to play the index finger on the 6th fret of the A string. We're going to play ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and our little finger is going to play the 8th fret of the G and B strings. Like the previous two, we can link this one on the end, so we can play dominant 11 chord, then we can play the flat 9 13 chord, then we can play the augmented 7th chord. Let's take a listen to how that sounds. And then resolve to E. Alright, now I'm going to show you one final dominant chord you can use, one final 5 chord you can use. Now this is the dominant 7 flat 9 chord. So this one's quite an easy one to play. We're going to play middle finger on the 7th fret of the low E string, skip the A string, ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, index finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and little finger on the 7th fret of the B string. This one links onto the end of those first 3 as well. So let's take a listen to how that sounds. Resolve to E. Now that works so well because we're doing this chromatic movement at the top of all of our chords. Okay, so just take a listen to that when I play this chord progression one more time. Okay, so there's 4 dominant chords you can start adding into your chord progressions. You could use them connected like I've just done, or you can use them individually to resolve to your 1 chord. It's all about experimentation, so go and experiment with those. Now the next 2 chords I'm going to be showing you are variations on the major chords. So the first one is a major 7 sharp 11 chord. So let's take a look at the major 7 sharp 11 chord. We'll stick with the key of E, so we're going to use the major 7 sharp 11 chord as our 4 chord. So the 4 in the key of E would be A. So let's play an A major 7 sharp 11 chord. Root note A, we're going to play middle finger of the low E string, and then skip the A again. That's a little pattern we've got going on today, skipping the A string. Then we're going to play the 6th fret of the D and G strings with our ring and little fingers. And then we're going to use our index finger to play the 4th fret of the B string. This is how the chord sounds. Seeing as this is the 4 chord, this counts as a pre-dominant chord, so you could use this before you play one of those dominant chords. So let's try that. So I played a dominant 11 there. So we're moving from 4, which is A major 7 sharp 11, to B dominant 11, our 5 chord, and then to E major. Let's play an A major 7 there. That sounds nice. Now I've done a video on this major 7 sharp 11 chord where I go into detail on how you can use this chord. You can use this chord for a variety of different purposes, including changing keys. So let's move on to the next major chord, and it's the major 6-9 sharp 11 chord. Now this chord is another 4 chord in our key. It's another pre-dominant chord, so you play it before one of those dominant chords that I spoke about at the start. So this is how you play the 6-9 sharp 11 chord. What we're doing is we're playing 5 on the low E string with our middle finger, and then barring the 4th fret with our index finger, and just playing every string except the high E string. So as I said, we could lead into a dominant chord using this chord. So we'll go A, 6-9 sharp 11, we'll play the B11 again, and we'll finish on E. There we go. Sounds quite cool. Now, this chord as well, I did another video on where I go into detail on all the things you can do with it. There are so many different ways you can use this chord. You can use this even as a 1 chord, even though it's not diatonic to the key, but you do have to be careful. You can even use it with a dominant chord function. But again, it's very detailed, so if you're interested, definitely check the video out up there. I'll link all the videos down in the description and in the comments as well. Now the final chord I'm going to be talking about today is the minor 7 flat 13 chord. This is a really nice chord that I recently just kind of discovered, and you can use it as either chord 3 or chord 6 in your key. If we stick to the key of E, we could use a G sharp minor 7 flat 13 chord. So this is how it sounds. So we're playing 4th fret of the low E string with our index finger. Again, we're skipping the A string. And then we're playing 4 on the D and G strings with our middle and ring fingers. And our little finger is playing the 5th fret of the B string. Now this chord, whether you're playing it as chord 3 or chord 6, works before a pre-dominant chord, so the previous 2 major chords that I spoke about. So you could play this chord, G sharp minor 7, flat 13, into our A major 7 sharp 11 or A 6-9 sharp 11. Let's choose A major 7 sharp 11. So what have we got? And then we could play B11 and then finish on E. Alternatively, we could use this minor 7 flat 13 chord as our 6th chord. So in the key of E, 6 is C sharp. So let's play it with the root on the A string. So we're going to play 4 on the A string with our index finger, skip the D string, we're going to play 4 on the G string with our middle finger, then we're going to play 5 on the B and E strings with our ring and little fingers. Okay, now that again will lead us nicely into a pre-dominant chord, and the pre-dominant chord will lead us nicely into the dominant chord. So let's take a listen with the C sharp minor 7 flat 13, A 6-9 sharp 11, B11, then maybe flat 9 13, and then into E. Okay, cool. So from there you want to add your fills with your pentatonic scale or your more advanced scales like your altered scale of your altered dominant chords. I've done plenty of videos on those scales, so definitely check those out. So if you enjoyed this video, click like, let me know what you thought in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Definitely check out the videos on the major 7 sharp 11 chord and the 6-9 sharp 11 chord. They're going to blow your mind with what you can do with those chords, and you'll be able to do so much more with your chord progressions after watching those videos. I've written a book called Chord Charisma, and that is going to show you how to write really incredible sounding chord progressions. The first 2 chapters are available for free. down in the description. That's going to show you how to write a basic chord progression to start off with, but add extensions like 6ths, 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths to make that chord progression sound more sophisticated and advanced. That's completely free. If you decide that you want to get the book, it's down at my Patreon page for just $10 at the gold tier membership. So check those out. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.